I'm picking up Wizard of Oz Funko Pops. Welcome to Teacup For One. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's right, friends. Today we are here at my childhood mall, Erin Mills Town Center. Now, granted, in my childhood, this mall looked a lot different. Like, the main structure in the middle was a clock tower, but I legit thought it was a castle. Like, I loved this mall growing up, and I'm so excited because today I am back here to pick up half of my order of the brand new wave of Wizard of Oz Funko Pops. We're going to a store I've never been to. It's the MyPops.ca store. I have ordered from MyPops off of their website, but I didn't realize they had a brick and mortar store, and evidently they have like at least 3 of them, and one of them is so conveniently close to where I live. So we're going to check out that store. I'm going to look at these brand new Wizard of Oz Funko Pops. We're going to take them back to the Teacup studio. I'm going to give you all my thoughts. It's going to be a magical day. Let's go. I found it. I got my Funkos. I got pretzel. Because this is the mall where I realized that I really love pretzel. Okay, and we are back, and it is time to unbox these. The stakes are high. I've been waiting for brand new Wizard of Oz Funko Pops since I started actively collecting Funko Pops, and I realized I made a massive mistake by not picking up the entire collection when I had the bleeping chance back in 2013. But no matter, because we're here now. I can't remember if I mentioned it when I was at the mall, but MyPops only received half of the order, so this is going to be part 1 of the video. There's going to be a part 2. And as luck would have it, the 4 Pops I received in this first shipment are actually the 4 that I ranked at the bottom of my list when this line was first announced, and I did my whole ranking and reviewing series. So it is actually kind of perfect that I get to see if they live up to my expectations in real life. So without further ado, let's open this. It's just really exciting to see Wizard of Oz characters on Funko Pop boxes. You guys don't understand. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Okay, let's start with the pop that I deemed my least favorite. The one that I outright said, I hate this pop when I saw the artwork. My favorite character in the Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow. I mean, I'm still not impressed with him, but it's really special to have this. Okay, let's open it up. I'm legit crying. Sometimes this is an act. It's not right now. Alright, moment of truth. There is a lot that's good about this pop. Okay, I'm calling it right now. This is the first one. This is the first one that I'm holding in my hands. And I love him, but I also hate him. Okay, let's start by talking about the good stuff. The detailing on the costume is phenomenal. The color scheme is pretty well exactly what we have in the original film. Even small details like the patches, and what I'm just noticing now is that like we have the tiniest strands of twine just dangling off of his wrists. That's incredible. And also, something I'm just noticing right now is that we have a very clear and distinct color difference between the Scarecrow's face and the back of his head, which I feel has to be an obvious choice to reflect Ray Bolger's costume. You know, he had his Scarecrow cap, and then that was one color versus the color they used on his face. So it is truly like this is a pop of Ray Bolger in costume. These are my big problems with this pop. First is his face. I think we could have far better detailing in terms of the burlap on his face and the texturing. When I think back to that beautiful original Scarecrow Funko Pop, sure, he has all the like trademarks of an early Funko Pop. He has a body position that doesn't have a ton of character to it, but I feel like the detailing on that Pop's face was gorgeous. You saw texture, you saw like a gradient of colors. This to me just looks like a pretty bland wash. I also think his nose is far too small. It's given me carrot nose as opposed to painted on Scarecrow nose. But my big problem with this pop is that it is such a tease because the detailing in the costume is beautiful, but we can't bleep and see it properly because he's doing this. And I know, I'm always here on the channel preaching I love when Funko Pops give us more obscure moments, but I'm a hypocrite. Okay? This might be the only Scarecrow Funko Pop I own in my life. I want to see his costume in full. We are missing so much by not being able to see his chest. We're not seeing like the straw coming out of that seam of the shirt. We don't really get to see his belt properly. Well, no, we do kind of see his belt. Anyway, this is just way too specific for my liking. And I am kind of biased because What I love with Pops is photographing them, and I'm pretty limited to the settings and the types of photos I could take with him in this position. I would love it if this was released as an exclusive. I do think as a standalone Pop, it's great. But if this is the only Scarecrow Funko Pop I'm ever going to own, I'm not happy. But I am happy because it's a Scarecrow. Okay, moving on. My second least favorite in the collection, when the collection was announced, was the Tin Man. He looks really freaking cool. Okay, let's open him up. Wow. Okay. Compared to the Scarecrow, this, oh my gosh. This is absolutely an improvement on that original Tin Man Funko Pop. We are seeing so much character here. And one thing that I'm super impressed with seeing him up close is that there is actually rust detailing on his body. It's very faint. You can't really see it unless you have him really close up, but that makes a world of difference with this Pop. Because it would be so easy for this Pop to just be bland and one color, to almost look like those Chrome edition Pops that they put out every once in a while where they take a sculpt and they're like, let's just make it shiny in one color. I think that's the risk you would run with doing the Tin Man, but no, for a character that is predominantly one tone, one color, they have done a gorgeous job with him. This is gorgeous. This is what we wanted, Funko. By we, I mean me. Yes, this is from a very clear moment in the movie, but this pose could be the Tin Man at pretty well any point in that film. I could take pictures of this and put him at any point in the movie. Not like the Scarecrow. We love the Tin Man. Let's keep going. All right, my next favorite on the list was Margaret Hamilton as the Wicked Witch of the West. Yes, witch. Okay, let's open her up. Now, the stakes on this Funko Pop are exceptionally high. Well, actually, they're kind of exceptionally high on all these Funko Pops, but in terms of on-screen filmic villains, the Wicked Witch of the West is far and above my favorite of all time, if not one of my favorite film performances of all time. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how good Margaret Hamilton is as the Wicked Witch of the West? Like, anyway, let's look at her Funko Pop. Ooh! Oh! Oh! I did sort of suspect that this would be the case, that she'd be more impressive in person than she was in the photos, and that's largely because of the costume. Now, I'm going to start, unlike the Scarecrow, I'm going to start with the things I don't love about this Pop, and that is mostly the sculpt of her face. I do feel like we could have had more detail in her face. It looks like they took the generic Funko rounded square-shaped face and just kind of tacked on a nose and a chin, instead of coming up with a sculpt that looked like those were naturally a part of her face. But that said, seeing it in person, I like it a lot better. It doesn't have the same problem I have with the Scarecrow Pop, where I feel like the face is a lot of empty real estate. I do still think it's kind of funny that we have the hair appearing more prominently than it appears in the film, but I'm not complaining because that moves us away from the trap of having just like a big green blob for her face. It's giving more detail, and I like that. But the real attraction here is the detailing in the body and the costume. Oh my gosh, I'm even realizing now they have her satchel. The Wicked Witch of the West. This is the thing with her costume. It has a lot of detail in the 1939 film, but you don't really get to see it or appreciate it because it's black on black on black. Coupled with the fact that for the longest time we were all watching The Wizard of Oz in like low-res VHS Betamax, I don't know, in lower resolution versions. And so now that the general public has a better sense of what the Wicked Witch of the West's costume looked like, it's really nice to have that reflected in merchandise like this. I mean, the detailing is there in the puff sleeves, again, the satchel, the corset, and what really gets me here is the broom. I almost feel like the broom is the star of this Funko Pop. They could have just given her a generic broom, but no. Between the paint and the sculpt and the way that the straw is bunched together at the top of the broom, this is the Wicked Witch of the West's broom. This might actually be the most intricately detailed Pop in the whole collection, so I may bump her up in my ranking, but we'll see when we get to part 2. I cannot believe I originally ranked her as my third least favorite. This is gorgeous. And last for today, the Pop that I ranked my favorite out of these 4 when the announcement first dropped, Bert Lahr as the Cowardly Lion.
Put him up, put him up!
Oh my gosh. This is beautiful. It's like every note I had about these three Pops was taken for this one. First of all, we have a pose that, yes, might be from one very specific moment in the film, but it's generic enough that I can take a picture of this and it can be at any point in the movie. I know that this is a criticism that's very specific to me, but it's my video and here we are. But moving on beyond that, it's a beautiful sculpt of the body, but the face, there is so much detail and no wasted real estate in this figure's face. The texturing on the actual sculpt is great. The detailing in the paintwork, everything from his little nose to his lion whiskers is great. And what I pointed out was my favorite thing about this Pop when it was first announced, kind of stands true today. Just that little bit of separation between the majority of his face and his jaw. That is such a distinct thing that harkens back to the mask that Bert Lahr wore as the Cowardly Lion. So much of that performance is mask work. I mean, we are getting a lot of expression through the eyes, but I think the jaw is the only part of Bert's human face that we really see. It makes all the difference between this Pop being the Cowardly Lion from the film versus just a lion. Oh, and his little ears are so cute. Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him. Okay, friends, there you go. Okay, friends, there you have it. The first half of the brand new 85th anniversary Wizard of Oz Funko Pop collection. As it stands, I actually stand by what my original rankings were in terms of least favorite through to most favorite, but I am so excited to get the rest of the collection. We are still waiting on Glinda the Good Witch, Dorothy with Toto, the Wizard of Oz with Emerald City, and Flying Monkey. Oh, and sepia-toned Dorothy, which has kind of been a point of controversy. But I'm excited to see all of them in person and to see if any of them surprise me the way that some of these truly surprised me today. At the end of the day, I'm just so happy I finally have Wizard of Oz Funko Pops. And with that, friends, this concludes yet another episode of Teacup For One. Now let me know in the comment section down below, out of these four, which Pop is your favorite, and which one disappointed you the most, and why was it the Scarecrow? And if you want to be the first to know when I receive the rest of my order and review the second half of the Wizard of Oz 85th Anniversary Funko Pop Collection, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And if you haven't subscribed already, it is so easy. All you have to do is click on my face. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup For One.